Tesla built a shipping container, this is what it would look like. This clean, all-metal interior system allows for mounting EV chargers, lighting, electrical, and so much more. If there was a crash test for shipping containers, this system would get 5 stars. Stay tuned in this video. I'm going to show you all the new innovations featured in this modification and how we're going to make shipping containers multi-planetary. So this system inside of this container, honestly, is built more like a spaceship than a traditional building. And that is because we brought this down to first principles thinking. Tesla doesn't design things the same way that everyone else does. The recipe is right there. You can see how Elon and the SpaceX team are using metal additive manufacturing on the Raptor 3 engine to simplify everything, to drop weight, reduce parts, and hit 99% of the theoretical thrust that liquid oxygen and methane can deliver. That's near perfection. The rest is left to entropy. Imagine taking that design philosophy, simplifying, integrating, and optimizing, and applying it to everything. And that, folks, is exactly what we did here. We're going at this the way that we just conceptualized it should be done. The one thing about shipping container construction is that a shipping container isn't necessarily the perfect way that you should be building buildings. But there is one advantage to them. The entire planet has all the infrastructure to handle these things, and they are readily available. So they do lend themselves to being a perfect empty canvas for a lot of portable structures. So I can get behind the idea of utilizing a container as the blank canvas and then finishing out the interiors, but it needs to be done in a modular method. And a modular building system requires a level of standardization and then variability. And we've done that by utilizing the corrugation pitch. That's 279 millimeters on center, and you'll see right here that that is where all of our framing members are. So I've set my own little mantra where all of the products that we install pre-spray foam aren't exposed in the finished product. And this system here is one step closer to achieving that. This interior framing method, we call it the future-proof framing, in my mind is our best invention to date. I commonly feature a couple different framing methods for the interior of shipping containers. We have our steel stud brackets, which allow you to steel stud the inside, or often for modular buildings, we need strut channel framing. This new future-proof framing method is those two systems having a baby. We now can frame with this method every corrugation, and we can cover this with any type of interior wall covering. We can rivet in wall panels such as this, or we can slot in strut channel wherever we want. Every framing member, wall panel, strut channel, and electrical coverings was meticulously designed by our team, and it all fits together with laser precision. My favorite part of this feature now is it totally simplifies the customer communication. So whenever someone's inquiring about a mod, we can now just quote the future-proof framing system. We don't have to worry about what you're installing on the inside until later down the road once we figure out what you exactly want inside of this thing. One thing we screwed up on was we were pinning in the rivets wherever, and you really got to work systematically. It's almost like putting on a vinyl decal and starting from the left side and working to the right. We want to start up high in the top left corner and just work down, finish the left side, and then do something similar on the right. And that's going to make sure that we don't get it popping in certain areas. So there's a lot of panels that were just very quickly installed, and we actually had to go back, drill out all the rivets and reinstall them and apply some adhesive in there. And so we learned some things about just the sizing of the holes and the process, and hopefully in future versions this is going to go a lot quicker, because this was very time consuming, this project. But as you can see how clean this is, so worth it. But now if Tesla was actually to build a container, they wouldn't use old school electrical like this or a heater like this. They would have integrated plenums right in the framing member, and that would accommodate hydronic heating, airflow, and probably 48-volt electrical, all in a modular method where these could just plug in up to a common manifold where everything is fed up at the top or down below. This 40-foot container has two very similar compartments, and they're separated by this 2-hour fire-rated partition wall. So with this wall, we steel stud framed it, and we have fire-rated plywood on both sides, and then we lined it with this metal paneling to make sure that it looked the same as all the rest of the unit. And given that our partition wall is fire rated, we made sure we got a 3-hour fire rated door, and then we used a 3-piece knockdown expandable frame. I love the expandable frames because no matter what this wall ends up being for thickness, that frame works. I love these huge 13-foot wide shipping container doors on the sides of these containers. And to insulate them, we've created some custom door flashing kits, and then we had to have them fire rated. So we put fire rated plywood in behind here and then covered it all with the same metal interior wall covering. You'll notice that that this is different than regular shipping container flooring. We've covered the wood with steel checker plate and we've seam welded everything. One thing that's important if you're doing this is you'll want to drill some holes and screw it down with some wood screws, because as you add that heat, sometimes you can get some warpage. That's something I've learned in the past, and that really helps. You'll actually see the Robertson heads right here. Another very important feature of this shipping container is its foundation. It has a portable foundation attached to it. This is an oil field skid, and it is connected to the container with twist locks. So we have a very unique design here at the Container Guy, and it is either a weld-on skid or a removable skid, just with these twist locks, all in the same design. And what we've done is we've done recessions where these corner castings are, and that makes sure that the bottom channel of the container is resting nicely all the way across this W8 at 31 beam. Another feature that we've added inside of our skid design is we have to have cross pipes for strengthening these beams. And instead of using pipes in the middle here, we use a 12x4 rectangular tubing, and that allows us to lift this thing with a forklift and move it around as well. The final benefit to this skid is that it makes the container's center of gravity lower. And so if we're adding these solar panels to the side of this container and up on the roof to make this a very energy efficient or an off the grid unit, we need to make sure that it doesn't tip over, and that totally helps that scenario. Another really cool feature that we've done in previous modifications is we've removed the entire container floor and poured concrete in its place. In my opinion, that is the absolute best way of doing it, because you get that thermal mass in there and it's a thermal battery. So a steel runner such as this is essentially a grade beam running all the way across the underside of the container. And then if you utilize screw piles to get your container frost protected, you can actually set this right on top of the screw piles and then weld to those. And after that, this thing is essentially tornado or hurricane proof. And hopefully this system can be utilized in other structures all across the planet. And we've inspired people to take on the design philosophy that Tesla and SpaceX uses. And who knows, maybe Elon can utilize this framing system inside the Starship. Give me a call, bro.